Tonight on Y News. City bus drivers complain over income loss due to worsening traffic in Metro Manila. At least one person died after a landslide hit a residential area in Benguet as intense rain pummeled the province. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources will issue a moratorium or temporary ban on importation of recyclable waste into the country. Malacanang maintains that giving gifts to cops for their honest performance of duty is not a form of bribery, nor is it against the law. And Hong Kong Airport Authority cancels flights over massive protests. Good evening. After today's clearing operation in Barangay Ramon Magsaysay, Quezon City, several illegally parked vehicles returned to the same illegal parking spaces. The Quezon City Traffic SAR tasks barangay officials to monitor streets in their areas that have been already cleared of obstruction. Grace Casin tells us why.
Resident in Ilocos Sur Street, Barangay Ramon Magsaysay in Quezon City complained about an illegally parked vehicle in front of their house that has been there for 4 days. She said the vehicle belongs to a tenant in the nearby condominium.
Karamihan na nagpapark dito, mga taga dyan.
While some residents wrote their disappointment on the windshield of this SUV parked for more than a week now.
Po kami ng pagkakita na deliver dito. Yung mga dito sa amin.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority and the Quezon City government in a joint clearing operation towed 12 vehicles illegally parked in Ilocos Sur, Abra, Nueva Ecija, and Corregidor streets. The owners have to pay fines amounting to almost 6,000 pesos.
Okay lang dahil yun ang batas natin eh. Wala naman sa aming problema yun.
After several minutes, we returned to the streets where authorities conducted the clearing operation. We noticed that some vehicles were back to where they have been illegally parked before.
Nananawagan kami sa mga barangay officials, sa mga na-clear na namin. Pangalagaan niyo po yung mga lugar kung saan na-clear na po ng pamahalaan yung mga area. Huwag niyo pong hahayaan na bumalik yung mga illegally parked vehicles.
Barangay officials on their part promised to monitor the streets in their vicinities. Residents hope such clearing operations are effective so that public roads can finally be used properly. Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Several city bus drivers complain over income loss due to worsening traffic in Metro Manila and the strict implementation of the yellow lane policy. Joan Nano tells us why.
The Supreme Court affirmed last year the Department of Labor and Employment and the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board's order on the fixed salary scheme for public utility buses. The order aims to provide bus drivers with proper compensation and benefits. This is also to avoid what seems to be a race or competition in EDSA that sometimes results to accidents. But some operators are still not complying with the order and continue to implement the commission-based scheme. And with the heavy traffic on major thoroughfares, city bus drivers can't help but complain over income loss.
Talagang bawas din ang kita namin, ma'am, pag talagang traffic talaga. Sobrang traffic talaga yun, ma'am. Sobrang pagod pa. Kasi yung dapat na ikot namin, napupunta lang doon sa traffic.
Perwisyo talaga, pati sa operator ho namin maliit na lang po ang kinikita. Gawa ng lahat kami, pinapasok sa yellow lane dahil nga inaano nila yung traffic, mas lalo hong tumindi yung traffic. Itong nagdaang traffic, isang biyahe na lang ang nagagawa namin.
The MMDA have earlier said they need to discipline city bus drivers to use the yellow lane so as not to block the private lane. But the agency reiterates they are not anti-commuter.
Kaya problema kung pagbigyan namin yung city bus na bumaba, hindi namin mapipigilan yan na lumipat dito sa 5th lane, 4th lane. Mapupuno po yan. I'm telling you, hindi po ganun kadisiplinado mga city bus drivers.
Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Not only the government, but also netizens are thinking of how to solve traffic woes. Find out what their suggestions are, as MONSOON reports.
Don't we all wish EDSA were a lot more spacious or at least a lot less congested?
Here are some ideas from netizens who have their own solutions to the terrible traffic situation on Metropolitan Manila's roads. Dear MMDA, a proposal by a regular commuter is a post on Facebook. The suggestion is explained through illustrations that can be easily understood by a layperson. In the first picture, the post thanks the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA for their efforts to solve traffic congestion. But the poster, who is also a commuter, said the suggestion was conceptualized when she was stuck in a terrible traffic. Her idea, what if instead of placing public utility vehicles on the outer lanes, let them use the innermost lanes where there's enough space. The PUV lane will be exclusive to PUVs. This way, the movement of vehicles will be much faster because buses ply only from end to end on EDSA. With this, more people will be encouraged to use public transport. The buses will be deployed depending on a given schedule to ensure that there will be no congestion of buses on their designated lane. The loading and unloading of passengers will be at the MRT station in EDSA, where commuters can use the overpass to get to the other side, while private vehicles will be designated on the outer lane, which is currently used by PUVs. The outermost lane will be solely for motorcycle riders. The post earned both criticisms and positive comments from netizens. Louis Gan, on the other hand, posted a suggestion. For him, private vehicles must be prohibited to traverse EDSA during rush hours, from 5:30 to 8 in the morning and evening. The first animation shows the congested situation on EDSA, while the other is a scene where there are only a few buses plying on the said roads. In the first scene, EDSA is congested with only 400 people, while the other scene with 8 to 10 buses but can accommodate up to 500 people. This might be possible during rush hours. The MMDA said that they are open to suggestions and are ready to adapt ideas if proved to be beneficial.
You need to conceptualize this based on our setting, tapos propose this to the policymakers, get it approved and get it funded, then we implement it.
As of this time, the said Facebook post has garnered thousands of shares and likes. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue.
Good news to motorists. Oil companies announced pump prices of petroleum products will go down on Tuesday, August 13. According to industry players, diesel prices will be slashed off 1 peso and 10 centavos per liter and gasoline by 50 centavos per liter. Companies carrying kerosene will lower prices by 1 peso and 30 centavos per liter. These changes are in line with developments overseas. The monsoon winds continue to blow in the Cordillera region, where 3 main roads are closed. Meanwhile, 1 person died in a landslide in Benguet province. Vincent Arboleda will tell us why.
Authorities say 60-year-old Gloria Langawan perished when a landslide occurred at the boundary of Mangkayan and Bugyas in Benguet province last night because she did not heed to the local government's call, while her grandchild was wounded in the incident. The Office of Civil Defense or OCD says it is important for residents to follow the call for preemptive evacuation to save lives.
Nananawagan na rin ako sa lahat ng mga kababayan natin na seryosohin natin itong sitwasyon na ganito. Huwag tayong, pag merong preemptive evacuation na pinalabas yung mga lokal na pamahalaan, sundin natin dahil ito ay para din sa ating safety.
Meanwhile, Cannon Road remains impassable due to an active landslide at Camp 5, Tuba, Benguet. The Baguio-Bontoc Road and Tabuk-Banawi Road are also closed to public as heavy rains continue to pour with strong winds brought by the monsoon in the region.
Mahigit 2 linggo na. Ito nga mga kagawad ko, mahigit 2 linggo na nandito kami aayos ng madadaanan ng mga tao. Inaayos namin para pagpasok nila bukas uli, hindi sila maputik.
The OCD Cordillera was also able to record various landslides and rockslides within the Cordillera Administrative Region. Some tourism activities like hiking, caving, trekking, biking, and the likes are also banned as of the moment to prevent accidents. Vincent Arboleda, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources is making sure a repeat of the entry in the Philippines of imported garbage from Canada and South Korea will be prevented. Ray Pelayo details why.
The Department of Environment and Natural Resources will act on some groups' request to ban the importation of trash. Environment Undersecretary Benny Antiporda says the DNR will issue a moratorium that will run for 3 months. While the moratorium is in effect, the DNR will inspect the recycling plants of all importing firms. The department is also reviewing the import procedures and regulations on such shipment. The official, meanwhile, is proposing a 3 million peso cash bond from companies who will import recyclable waste before they are granted permit. The cash bond will be used should any problem occur with the imported shipment.
Lugi ang bansa dyan, no? Dahil ang tagal, naka-stack dyan sa atin, kung saan merong mga dapat bayaran na hindi na nabayaran.
Meanwhile, Antiporda said the DNR might allow the importation of second-hand or used electronic appliances provided that all parts will be reused.
Kapag yan po ay contaminated, yan po ay waste na. Hindi na po siya recyclables.
Ray Pelayo, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Many countries are working on effective ways of waste and recovery and turning trash into treasure. A store in Seoul provides a solution by swapping plastic bottles or cans with credits which can be used to shop in the store. Kath Dumaraos will tell us why.
Store, which is located in Seoul's Hongdae, a bustling area in the city, residents can put package-stripped empty plastic bottles or cans into the vending machines and get credits on their smartphones. All the credits can be spent to buy products in the store, and most products in the store were made of the recycled wastes. Apart from selling the products, the store has specially set an area to display waste-made handiwork and introduction of waste processing of clothes and accessories. Residents can also win gifts by answering questions on waste sorting.
Many people find it bothering to do garbage classification. Some don't know how to do it or how to do it right. Such an area can teach people how to classify garbage and directly show them how the waste is reused.
Through the store, we want to show the hidden value of the waste and tell people that waste is money and recycling is fun, so that people will come to like garbage classification.
Jung said the store is non-profit. It is on trial run for 3 months starting from July, and the effect will determine whether the operation is to extend. The country has set 75 smart waste recycling machines, which have recovered more than 11 million cans and plastic bottles. The cash turned from the credits has reached 10 million South Korean won, about $8,237 a month. Kat Dumaraos, UNTV News and Rescue.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I'm Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. Malacanang maintains that giving gifts to cops for their honest performance on duty is not a form of bribery, nor is it against the law. Police Regional Office 1 raises their status to full alert due to security threat. The Department of Health assessed there is no mutant strain of dengue virus in the Philippines. Manila Mayor Isko Moreno orders inspections of dormitories and boarding houses in the city after a male landlord was caught videotaping his female tenants. And Discovery Originals On-Ground Edition's Mindanao leg reaches Butuan City. Good evening. The Philippine National Police leadership say policemen may accept gifts, but only those with little or no value at all. Leia Ilagan will tell us why.
PNP Chief Police General Oscar Albayalde clarifies there is limit in receiving gifts among police personnel. This despite President Rodrigo Duterte's statement that policemen can accept gifts. PNP spokesperson Police Brigadier General Bernard Banac says that cops may receive insignificant gifts like plaques and small tokens.
Kailangan talaga mag-exercise ng due caution at prudence ang ating mga police pagdating sa mga regalo, mga ganitong bagay na mga insignificant and no value at all, yun lamang po talaga ang maaari nating i-consider, no, na maaaring tanggapin na pinapayagan ng batas.
Banac adds that food anonymous sponsor give during birthday celebrations and special occasions are also shared to volunteers and barangay tanod.
Ay naman natin isauli o kaya mapanis na lamang or itapon bilang pag-alam na rin doon sa nagpadala ay hindi na po natin ito inatapon. So ito'y pinamamahagi na lamang.
The PNP leadership also warns businessmen who send extravagant gifts to cops that may face bribery charges.
Kung sino mang mayroong magtangka ng ganitong pamimigay ng malalaking halaga ng mga bagay bilang regalo ay mapagsususpetsahan natin na maaaring may motibo ito. So, maaaring makasuhan po yung nag-o-offer ng mga ganitong bagay.
The PNP also remind the public that they do not need gifts because it's a policeman's duty to ensure the safety of the public. Banac adds, it is enough that policemen receive salary from the people's taxes. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Malacanang clarifies it is not a violation of law if Philippine National Police personnel receive gifts of insignificant value. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
It is not against the provisions of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices Act nor of the Code of Conduct for Government Employees and Officials if cops accept gifts of nominal value. This is as long as the gifts are not given in exchange for favor, according to Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo.
As a general rule, hindi dapat tumatanggap. Pero kung halimbawa man na hindi naman humingi, out of gratitude, pinadala ka ng manok. O kaya ng pork and beans. Ano ba naman yun?
The official adds that gift giving is just a simple appreciation by the Filipino people for a job well done performed by law enforcers whose lives are in danger to keep peace and security in the country. This also inspires them to do their work faithfully and efficiently, and an expression their work is not left unnoticed or not appreciated. However, the official cannot elaborate how much such gift cost.
Maliwanag naman ang batas eh.
So okay lang sa
nominal. Basta nominal, bahala na sila doon. Malalaman mo naman kung masyado ng excessive, di ba?
Even President Rodrigo Duterte said that such form of gift giving cannot be regarded as bribery.
If you are able to solve a crime and the family would like to be generous to you or would nurture a feeling of gratitude for what you accomplished, then by all means accept it.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV, News and Rescue, Malacanang.
There is no new strain of dengue virus, but according to the Health Department, the number of dengue cases recorded this year is the highest in 5 years. Aiko Miguel details why.
The Health Department insists that none of their officials has mentioned a new strain of dengue virus that is causing the spike of dengue cases in the country. There are only 4 existing strains of dengue virus in the Philippines, according to the DOH. Dengue 1 and Dengue 2 cause pain behind the eyes, symptoms of nose bleeding and blood-streaked vomit, while Dengue 3 and Dengue 4 cause usual symptoms of fever, muscle pains, headache, loss of appetite, vomiting, and diarrhea. Among the 4 recorded dengue strains, Dengue 3 is the predominant strain in the country this year. According to DOH spokesman Undersecretary Eric Domingo, dengue cases in the Philippines this year is the highest in the last 5 years.
Yes, oo, talagang this is one of the highest, and it's the first time that we've actually talagang nag-declare tayo ng dengue na national epidemic, no. This is the highest in the last siguro 5-6 years.
The DOH assured they have been continuously coordinating with the local government units to prevent the overflow of dengue patients in hospitals.
So may test kits tayo, we have IV fluids, antipyretics, and the medicines that are needed. Nag-open na rin tayo ng mga dedicated na dengue fast lane sa mga hospital natin, lalo na yung mga batang may lagnat, doon sila. And we have dengue wards na naka-open.
Meanwhile, Health Secretary Francisco Duque III refutes that the 50,000 pesos distributed to the families of children vaccinated with dengue is a form of bribe.
Ayang ayuda na yan, galing yan sa Office of the President. So, hindi yan galing sa DOH. Ito ay lamang dahil sa malasakit ni Pangulong Duterte doon sa mga magulang na namatayan at gumastos para sa kanilang wake at paglibing at mga iba pang mga gastusin.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Police Regional Office 1 is now in full alert status due to security threat. Laya Ilagan tells us why.
The Police Regional Office 1 have placed their alert status in the highest level. This is after the alert memo of the Armed Forces of the Philippines Northern Luzon Command on the possible bombing of the ICs in Lawag City, Vigan City, Manawag, Pangasinan, and Tugigaraw City. Police Regional Office 1 Director, Police Brigadier General Joel Orduña says he has already deployed more personnel in places of convergence like churches, bus terminals, malls, marketplaces, park, and other vital installations.
Meron po tayong directive to beef up security forces and establish police patrols, conduct police patrols, checkpoints, and police visibility sa mga affected areas kung meron man.
But Orduña says, for now, they don't need augmentation force from other regions because they have enough number of personnel.
Meron naman kaming mga regional mobile force battalion. We can sustain our own forces.
Sir, ilan po?
Kasi kasama naman namin ang AFP dito eh.
The PNP Region 1 Police call on the public to remain vigilant and to report to the nearest police station if they notice suspicious items and individuals in their area. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
A day before classes in most universities in Manila City resume, some dormitory owners and tenants agreed with Mayor Isko Moreno's inspection order. Arlene Delgado explains why.
Jolly Dormitory has been housing students at the University Belt for nearly 2 decades now. Its caretaker says their priority is the tenants' welfare. She says she is in favor of the inspection order on all dormitories in Manila City.
Maganda ang niya hangarin para maging safe ang mga boarder namin, para din sa amin okay ho.
Other room for rent caretakers share the same sentiment.
Yung mga nakatira lang dito ang pwedeng umakyat para po sigurado kaming safe po sila.
Last week, Manila Mayor Isko Moreno Domagoso ordered the inspection of all dormitories, boarding houses, rooms for rent, and other related businesses in the city. This after a 69-year-old landlord was caught taking videos of 15 female boarders inside the dormitory's bathroom. The mayor's order reorganizes a committee that will ensure the lodging establishments are complying with the rules and regulations as well as with safety building standards. Meanwhile, some student dormers and other tenants also welcome this development.
I really hope that they will execute it really in an effective and efficient manner.
Katulad ako, babae ako, di ba? Kasi mahirap din yung kunwari yung lang parang safety kahit sabihin lang natin na CCTV or yung mga fire exit, kaya para saan mas okay yun.
Dapat lang kasi sa Manila kasi ang mamahal ng dorm tapos hindi nila nabibigay yung dapat na meron sa mga dorm, sa mga tenant.
The actual date of the inspection has yet to be announced, but Mayor Domagoso has earlier said that the establishments of violators will be shut down. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
In singing, there's nothing like performing using one's own language. And that's what an edition of the Wishcovery Season 3 did in Butuan City. Tell us why, Nina Armilio.
Smiles, fun games, chance to take selfies and goofies, and of course, the auditions. The Wish 1075 bus rolled for over 100 kilometers from Cagayan de Oro City all the way to Butuan City to bring nothing but entertainment and the chance to be the next singing star as the Mindanao leg of the Wishcovery Originals on-ground editions continue. Wishers readied their cameras to immortalize the performances of their fellow Butuanans on the FM station on wheels. For Jason Casilak, writing a song in his own language plus performing it on board the Wish bus is more than enough.
One of my dream na maka-play sa Wish bus. Okay na sa akin yung maka-play ng bus kahit di ako makuha ng audition.
Joseph Mark Arsiaga, on the other hand, shared it's his dream to become a songwriter.
Ang pangarap ko po talaga, sir, makapagsuot ng ganda, sir. Ito ko na to sa Marawi stage, sir. Dito mo ito, inspirasyon ako, sir.
While XD Band, who traveled all the way from Caraga region, didn't let distance hinder them from reaching their dream to step on the iconic bus and show the world what they've got.
Nakatulong po ito kasi ito yung daan para maipakita namin yung talento namin.
The Wishcovery Originals on-ground editions in the Timber City of the South will run until tomorrow, August 13th. The Wish bus will next stop in Davao City on the 19th to the 21st. For more details about the Wishcovery Season 3 editions, visit Wish 1075's website and social media pages. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue, Philippines.
And to complete the most significant news for this day, Y News continues. Here are the top stories. Two new airports to be constructed soon in Bulacan and Sangli are seen to boost tourism and economic growth. Joanne Nano tells us why.
The Department of Transportation and San Miguel Corporation target to begin the construction of the new Manila International Airport in Bulacan, Bulacan this year. The project that costs around 734 billion pesos will have 4 parallel runways which can accommodate more than 200 flights every hour. It is also expected to serve around 100 million passengers per year. This number can increase to more than 200 million in future expansion. For easy access of passengers, an 8.4-kilometer tollway going to NLEX Marilao Bulacan will also be constructed. With a new airport, more jobs can be generated for Filipinos, especially those living in Bulacan and other nearby provinces. The Department of Transportation is now processing the notice of award. Meanwhile, the construction of Sangli Airport in Cavite is now more than 50% completed. With round-the-clock operations, the Transportation Department is confident they can finish the project by November, the deadline President Rodrigo Duterte set. The construction of these new airports are seen to address the problems of passenger and flight congestions in Naiya soon. Joanne Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Meanwhile, the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, said it is actively monitoring developments on the sinking of a Brunei flag fishing vessel, Radims 2, off the coast of Brunei. Citing reports from the Philippine Embassy in Brunei, the DFA said the vessel had 11 crew members, 7 of whom are Filipinos. The department said Ambassador to Brunei Christopher Montero already assured that the embassy is closely coordinating with Brunei authorities for updates on Brunei's joint search and rescue operations with Malaysia. Malacanang ensures the government will not forsake hundreds of Filipino families facing risk of deportation in Israel. Based on reports, around 600 families may face expulsion over loss of residency status. In particular, are caregivers and domestic helpers who have been working for a long time in Israel and were able to marry and bear children in the Middle Eastern country. The children do not have legal status, and the parents cannot renew their working visas without risking expulsion.
I'm sure the Secretary of Foreign Affairs will do something about it. Hindi natin papabayaan.
Hong Kong's airport authority has canceled all departure flights not yet checked in by Monday afternoon after thousands of pro-democracy demonstrators flooded into the airport holding signs reading Hong Kong is not safe and shame on police. Traffic on roads to the airport was very congested and car park spaces were full, the authorities said, on the first day of mass demonstration over there, as street protests across Chinese territory stretched into their 10th week on Monday with no sign of either side backing down. China vehemently criticized violence by protesters who had thrown patrol bombs at police officers and linked them to terrorism. Rights groups and democracy activists accused police of using excessive force after tear gas was fired into an enclosed subway station and officers posed as protesters before making arrests during an intense weekend of clashes. And for the news abroad, Jeffrey Epstein, the U.S. financier facing federal sex trafficking charges, committed suicide on Friday night in his lower Manhattan jail cell, several U.S. media outlets reported on Saturday. Epstein, who was arrested on July 6, had pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking involving dozens of underage girls as young as 14 from at least 2002 to 2005. The charges were announced more than a decade after Epstein pleaded guilty to state prostitution charges in Florida. He was confined in the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan while he appealed a district judge's refusal to let him live under 24-hour guard in his home on the Upper East Side. Meanwhile, a man who sparked panic by walking into a Walmart with a rifle and body armor told police he was testing his right to bear arms in public. Lena Ramos explains why.
Prosecutors on Friday filed a terrorist threat charge against a 20-year-old man who said he walked into a Missouri store wearing body armor and carrying a loaded rifle and handgun to test whether Walmart would honor his constitutional right to bear arms. The incident, just days after 22 people were killed during an attack at another Walmart in El Paso, Texas, caused a panic at the Springfield, Missouri store. Dmitry Andreychenko walked through filming himself with his cell phone Thursday afternoon. No shots were fired and Andreychenko was arrested after he was stopped by an armed off-duty firefighter at the store.
I heard a voice off to my left saying, "Is that a real rifle?" And I looked up and there was a guy holding his hands up. He had a rifle around him. And then I heard the voice to my left say, "Why are you walking around in a tactical jacket carrying a rifle in Walmart?" He didn't seem angry. He didn't seem crazy. He was very cooperative and almost polite.
If convicted, the felony charge of making a terrorist threat in the second degree is punishable by up to 4 years in prison and a fine of up to $10,000 according to the prosecutor's office. The charge means he showed recklessly disregard for the risk of causing an evacuation or knowingly caused fear that lives were in danger. Andreychenko said his intention was to buy grocery bags. The rifle had a loaded magazine inserted, but a round was not chambered. A handgun on his right hip was loaded with 1 round in the chamber. Walmart issued a statement Friday that praised authorities for stopping the incident from escalating. It said Andreychenko is no longer welcome in its stores. Since January 2017, Missouri has not required a permit to openly or concealed carry a firearm for those 19 years or older. Roughly 30 states allow the open carrying of handguns and rifles and shotguns in public without a permit. Lena Ramos, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
In other news, Malaysians sympathize with the family of an Irish teenager who went missing on holiday as search efforts continued into their 9th day. Meanwhile, at least 44 people have been killed and several people remain missing after a typhoon made landfall in eastern China. Here's Jovic Burmas to tell us why.
In China, the death toll from Typhoon Lakima in eastern China rose to 44 people on Monday, according to official data, as the storm continued up the coast, racking up billions of dollars in economic losses and widely disrupting travel. An additional 12 people were recorded dead from the storm, including 7 from Zhejiang province and 5 from Shandong. with 16 people missing according to data from provincial emergency bureaus and state media. Typhoon Lekima made landfall early on Saturday in China's Zhejiang province, with winds gusting up to 187 kilometers per hour. The center of the storm has since traveled north through Shandong and off the coast. Many of the earlier deaths occurred when a natural dam collapsed in Zhejiang. The Shandong Emergency Management Bureau said more than 180,000 people were evacuated in the province, adding to an earlier evacuation of roughly 1 million people in Zhejiang and Jiangsu provinces, as well as the financial hub of Shanghai. In Malaysia, Malaysians on Monday said they sympathized with the family of an Irish teenager who went missing on holiday as search efforts continued into their 9th day. Nora Ann Corrine, a 15-year-old who has learning disabilities, was reported missing August 4th, a day after her family had arrived at the Dusun Resort in Seremban, Kuala Lumpur. Police in Malaysia said they were concerned about her survival, that they had narrowed the search area believing the girl could not have gone far, adding the search was focused on steep areas, shrubs and rocks, as well as around the family's holiday accommodation. Search and rescue efforts involving more than 300 searchers thus far have not led to any clues. And in the United Kingdom, the seafront in the resort of Worthing on England's south coast was closed on Sunday after a small number of people reported symptoms including sore eyes and vomiting, police said. A cordon was put in place along the seafront and people were advised to shut all windows and doors or stay away from the area. 2 people were checked at hospital before being discharged and advised to go home, wash their clothes and have a shower. In August 2017, up to 50 people at the coast near Eastbourne, about 60 kilometers from Worthing, suffered irritation to their eyes and throats from unidentified chemical haze. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue.
2 childhood friends never thought it would take 58 years to see each other again when they said goodbye in 1961 when the Berlin Wall was still under construction. Nina Armilio will tell us why.
A photograph taken by Horst Signet immortalized the moment 2 young girls, aged 15 at the time, were talking and holding each other's hands over a wall that was still low enough to do so. A picture that turned into one of the most famous images depicting the division created by the Berlin Wall. Dubbed as the Wall Girls, Rosemary Badachowski and Kreml Mayer were school friends, but Badachowski lived in the eastern part of the town and Mayer in the west. As construction work went on the wall, Badachowski and her mother soon realized they wanted to escape to the west, finding support in Mayer and her family. Badachowski remembers that time clearly.
Long time.
These memories are still present, even after such a long time. And now, when I'm back here, everything comes back to me again, of course, and the memories are all strong again.
Today, there's only a marker on the ground showing the places where the wall used to split the city in 2.
I ran straight to the wall without looking right and without looking left. The policeman who is in the picture should have stopped me. I walked towards my friend with only that thought in my head.
Mayer also remembers that time vividly.
Rosemary fled with her mother. At first, she stayed with me, but then we completely lost track of each other until a year ago when we saw an article in the newspaper where they were asking people to find the Wall Girls in the photo.
Rosemary went to the commercial school and became chief secretariat at the University Institute. Kreml, meanwhile, trained as a decorator, moved to her sisters in Switzerland, and met her future husband. Now more than 70 years old, the Wall Girls want to see each other more often. Nina Armilio, UNTV, News and Rescue.
And those are the reasons behind the news this August 12, 2019. On behalf of Alex Baltazar and Angelo Castro III, I am William Theo, and before we close, we will recap today's significant sound bites. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.
Perwisyo talaga, pati sa operator ho namin maliit na lang po ang kinikita. Gawa ng lahat kami, pinapasok sa yellow lane dahil nga inaano nila yung traffic, mas lalo hong tumindi yung traffic. Itong nagdaang traffic, isang biyahe na lang ang nagagawa namin.
Ang problema, kung pagbigyan namin yung city bus na bumaba, hindi namin mapipigilan yan na lumipat dito sa 5th lane, 4th lane. Mapupuno po yan. I'm telling you, hindi po ganun kadisiplinado mga city bus drivers.
Kailangan talaga mag-exercise ng due caution at prudence ang ating mga pulis pagdating sa mga regalo, mga ganitong bagay na mga insignificant and no value at all. Yun lamang po talaga ang maaari nating i-consider, no? Na maaaring tanggapin na pinapayagan ng batas.
Maliwanag ng mga batas
So okay lang
nominal.
So groceries kayo?
Nominal ano no? Basta nominal, bahala na sila doon. Malalaman mo naman kung masyado ng excessive, di ba?
What you're trying to tell me is that there are no X-ray machines in Isabela, Lamitan, and Sulu.
Yes sir, there's no.
Lugi ang bansa dyan, no? Dahil ang tagal, naka-stack dyan sa atin, kung saan merong mga dapat bayaran na hindi na nabayaran.